Hi, my name is Chuck with Morooka. We're going to do a walk around on the MST 700. So let's begin with taking a look at the final drive. Look for any leaks in the halves or the splits. If they are, you need to report that to service as soon as possible. These are your daily grease points, your pivot points. These need to be hit every day, beginning of shift. There's 8 of them, 4 on each side at these pivot points. We're going to look at the track for any damage. We're going to look for any splits. We're going to look for any rocks in the sprocket points. If there is damage on there, report that to service. We're going to look back here, make sure that nothing is broken in the tensioning area. If there is, this needs to be reported right away because damage to this area could leave you stuck in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we're going to walk around to this side. Here's the other 4 pivot points. Once a day, beginning of shift, should be greased. Check your track for damage. You can roll this forward the length of the vehicle to check the bottom side. Okay? Take a look at your hydraulic system. Check your connections. Check your hoses for leaks. If any of that stuff is leaking, you need to get that repaired right away. Check around the filter. This should all be dry. So make sure that there's no damage on your filter. If you do, you find a leaking hose, tighten it up. Here's your cap to top off your hydraulic fuel. Your sight glass is right here. Make sure your level is between your lines. You don't want this to be low. You could cavitate your pumps and leave you in the middle of nowhere. Let's open this side. Here's your battery compartment. Check your connections. Make sure all your batteries are connected. It's a 24 volt system, so it's wired in series. The 2 fronts should be connected on the same, and then the 2 back powers the vehicle. Here's your fuel tank and your sight glass. This is how you tell how much fuel you have. So check your sight glass, check the fuel tank. You don't want any leaks. You don't want any kind of puddles of diesel fuel down here. This is where you will fill the unit. Let's move to the front of the vehicle. We open this compartment. Here's your fuel filter. So if you have any issues with starting, really cold weather, you can check to see if this is gelling in here. You want to check for any leaks on any of your hoses, any of your banjo fittings. This is a water separator. You can use this valve to release the water that gets separated out of the fuel. You should do that at the beginning of your shift. Climb on top of the vehicle. Let's go to this compartment in the front. There's a handle here. At the rear of the engine is your oil dipstick. Pull that out. You want your oil level to be between the 2 dots on the dipstick. If it's not, notify service and get that fixed. Here's your cap for your radiator. You can pop this cap. Make sure you have coolant in here. It should be all the way up to the base of the fill spout. You also have an overflow tank. There should be coolant in between those lines for when the radiator does get hot. It needs an overflow spot. The engine belts, look for any damage on those. You can see them from here. If you get up on the top, you can also press on that belt to make sure there's tension on it. But you can check that from this point here. Now let's sit in the compartment. So before starting the vehicle, make sure your sticks are in the neutral position, which normally they spring back to that center position. If they're not, or they're sticking, contact your service department and get that fixed. Make sure your throttle is all the way to the low position, forward. Make sure that your emergency brake is on. In this case, the dump box is up because we're doing maintenance, but you want to make sure your dump box is all the way to the ground. Gravity feed will drop that if the vehicle's not running. So make sure that your emergency brake is on, and then you can start the vehicle. You have high and a low gear. If you are in a loaded position and you have material in the back, make sure you stay in low position. You want the torque to move the material, to move a loaded vehicle. Your switches for your lights are here. Operating the vehicle, each stick operates one side of track or the other. Left side operates the left track, right side operates the right track. Out of the neutral position, if you push forward and any kind of gradual amount, the vehicle will move that amount forward. If you push it all the way forward, it's all the way forward. All the way back, it's all the way back. If you press one forward and one rear, it will counter rotate the tracks and turn your system around. And the same way when you're turning, if you move that in opposite directions gradually, you'll be able to gradually turn the vehicle down the trails. Make sure you leave, you don't go anywhere without your safety belt on. All of your dummy lights are across the top here. If you do have any kind of errors, the dummy lights will let you know there's an issue. If any of those lights come on in red, this is representing the parking light is on. This is your safety belt is on or off. Here's your water temp, your stop, your engine glow plug. Yep. Whether you're in high gear or low gear, water temp, battery, engine temp, and hydraulic temp. So you also have blinkers on this machine, which I don't know if you guys use them. If you don't, then that's fine. Here is all of these dummy lights explained visually. This is a computer for the system. Here's your hour meter. If you do have to communicate with the service department or with Morooka directly, this is where you will find the hours on the vehicle. One other thing to point out, if you are communicating with the service department, your serial number plate is right here. This is where you'll find the identification for the vehicle. And that pretty much covers everything on this vehicle. You should be able to walk around, maintain it, keep an eye out for anything that's broken, contact your service department if it is. You should be able to operate and move the vehicle to load it, unload it, or get down the trail. Thank you.